Sports Investors Closing Bell for Wednesday, May 17th. I am Riley Magnuson. I am kicking things off as the solo host. We may or may not have Jeff Dawson coming on and join me here within the next hour or so, some point during the show. But nonetheless, we will get things going. Cleaning things up after last night, getting into tonight's slate, one basketball game, handful of MLB games. I do know Jeff and Brady Cannon, as long as that is still planned and scheduled. They will be on the air at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. my time, if I don't have that mistaken, talking about the PGA Championship, so definitely stay tuned for that. I will give out some of my quick thoughts on PGA, and we'll have some more thoughts out on Twitter tonight, but obviously want to clear the stage for someone like Brady Cannon, whose main job it is to talk about golf. As much as I, like to give up my own opinion, obviously don't want to contradict within the same hour here against an expert like himself. But I will definitely give my quick thoughts here, whether that's with Jeff or not. I don't know. Aside from that, going back to last night, Evening Connor, thank you again for stopping by as always. Going back to last night. In the NBA, you have the Lakers making the late comeback. Not quite how I drew it up, and wasn't given the most confidence. But as far as telling you if you were watching the show at that point, I think it even climbed up to 7. At that point, you were kind of getting an inflated Denver line there. Obviously, their offense was fantastic, and if you watched the game, regardless what number you had, you might not feel like that line was inflated. And obviously, they were up by about 20 points for a good amount of that second half there. But I mean, if you watch the NBA the last couple of years, 20 comebacks do happen. So, I wasn't all over the Lakers. I didn't personally take it, but I, at the very least, kind of validated that the Nuggets line was inflated at the time of recording yesterday, about this time yesterday. So, we'll get into today's slate as well. Boston and Miami, 8.5. MLB slate last night, Jeff and I talked a little bit together. White Sox, I had my White Sox correctly. They get the 8-3 win, get to Bieber nicely. Was right about the Red Sox. They take it to Castillo, I do believe. I don't know what the distribution against Castillo was in their bullpen and whatnot, but 9-4 win there as well. Whiff on the Blue Jays. Was confident the Blue Jays just struggled to find a way into that game. They end up losing that one 6-3. I think they put up a 3-run homer to tie it in the 5th, if I don't have that mistaken. But obviously, Yankees take it. So was wrong about that one. Probably would have been the most confident. Take away any odds at the very least. Take away value and just who's going to win a game today. Might have been my most confident pick. But, had 3 picks. Went 2-1 there. So. And then on down the line there, I don't know if we had any other strong thoughts. Actually, Jeff was helping us out. Tampa over the Mets and Verlander. Get the win there. St. Louis regresses. Milwaukee wins 3-2 there. And the Astros put up 7 and get to the Cubs there. So that one we were at least on that side of the Houston offense kind of leaning that way as well there. So and I know I've been high on the Rockies and their offense. I think yesterday, I could be wrong, but I want to say yesterday we were pumping the brakes a little bit. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but maybe we'll see here this next day today. And then I think we skipped over a lot of the last handful there. But nonetheless, getting into at least a little quick preview, because obviously I have the one NBA game tonight. Handful of games already going on right now in the MLB. One already in the tank. 8-0 Pirates over Detroit. Actually, that Rockies game 5-5 right now. So another kind of missed the boat on that one if we're looking at the show right now. Rockies minus 115 coming into this one today. You've got the Dodgers up 2-1 right now over the Twins in the bottom of the 5th. Arizona up 1-0 in the 4th inning, end of the 4th inning. Giants up 4-0 right now, and the Padres and Royals getting started through 2-0 still. So let's jump over and knock out the basketball game real quick here. Game 1. If you listened to me yesterday, I told you I don't typically get too aggressive with game 1s in a series of basketball 7-game series here. Depending on what the situation is. This one is kind of a similar one, and last night was kind of similar. We'll see what we got for games 2 and 3 in that Lakers-Nuggets series. And kind of the same thing here. I'm seeing a little bit of a public kind of on Miami, a lot of bigger bettors, at least from what I see. This could be a specific example on this book here, but a lot of bigger bettors going towards the Celtics tonight. So like I said, that might not be the consensus information there, but a lot of people I'm seeing are on the 8.5 here for Miami. And I don't blame you. This is just a tough one to call for me because really it's if Miami is going to keep this one close, they're a great at great value for to win this game, money line if that's what you're thinking. But the Celtics team, as we've seen, whenever they win games, they do so pretty handily. So I kind of imagine this is another one where either the Celtics win by 15 plus, 10 plus, 15 plus, or the Heat might actually win this game, or it's coming down to the absolute wire here. But it's another reason why I'm kind of staying away tonight. If the Celtics maybe blow them out here in Game 1, then I'm probably going to be on the Heat in Game 2, or vice versa. If the Heat keep this one close or win, I might be on the Celtics to have a big night in Game 2. So I'm kind of waiting on this one for Game 2 to see what happens here tonight. And really, that's really all I can say about this one. 7.5 up to 8.5, not quite the same situation. I would say maybe it is a little inflated, but at the end of the day, if you think the Celtics are going to win, this is a little bit different than last night where I thought the 5 up to 6.5 was inflated. Not saying, excuse me, not saying that it isn't inflated, but like I'm saying, with this Celtics team, we've seen them throughout the entire season, now into the postseason. A lot of the times when they are winning games, they are doing so very convincingly. And so a difference of 7.5 to 8.5 isn't as big of a deal here to me, is kind of what I'm trying to suggest here. Just looking at the last 3 wins against the Sixers that they took, what is that, a 24-point win and a 9-point win, a 12-point win, and I don't even know what that is, almost a 25, 30-point win. So absolutely stayed true there against Philly. Against Toronto, they got a 20-point win, a 13-point win, another 13-point win against Atlanta. So, again, it's staying true to that trend for the most part here. So, like I said, I am staying pretty far away from this one, and I'm more than planning on attacking Game 2, or depending on what happens tonight. So, I apologize that I don't have anything there. I will lean towards the Heat to keep this one close tonight, but again, I am not trying to put my stamp of approval on that by any means. My stamp of approval is waiting to see what happens tonight, and then probably doing the opposite in Game 2, if I'm being fully honest with you there. So curious if anyone's got any other thoughts on that one tonight, but just kind of feeling it out here with Game 1, and then we'll see what happens the rest of this series. So if Jeff Dawson pops on, we'll circle back and get his thoughts on that game. I am sure we've gotten plenty of his thoughts throughout the week here on that one, but nonetheless, if he pops on, we'll get his thoughts there. As far as baseball is concerned, as I mentioned, a bunch of games going right now. Still a handful left tonight to talk about. 5:30 my time, 6:30 East Coast time. Angels and Orioles. Griffin Canning versus Bradish here for the Orioles. Angels and Orioles, let's see here. My stuff is moving slow here. My apologies. Okay, Griffin Canning, 6.38 ERA, 5 earned runs in each of his last 2. Was all right the first handful of starts, kind of made his way through 5 innings. Not too much going on, but also the offenses that he was facing, Oakland and Washington were 2 of the 3 there. So really no big threats there. And now these last 2 against Houston and St. Louis, he's gotten beat up a little bit here, giving up some base runners, and he has not been very good at stopping base runners from scoring and when they get on base. So I don't really foresee that to change too much. I'm not saying whether or not tonight is going to happen, but across the season, I think that's kind of be what it will be. Bradish has been a little all over the place. He's had a couple of really, really good starts. One really tough one against Boston, 7 runs. Last time out, those 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 unearned run on a walk and 6 Ks. So he is kind of rounding into form a little bit here. He's pitching pretty well. This is year number 2 for him. Wasn't fantastic last year, but could be a guy that is significantly improved from last year. So definitely not someone to scoff at here. But a minus 155. Up from about minus 130 at open. So another one where you're kind of inflated. It's a little inflated if you're looking at the Baltimore Orioles here, obviously playing really well. These two teams have split so far. Each team kind of switching days of pretty productive offense there. So I'm putting this one closer to a toss-up. I could see Canning being better than what he was the last two. Maybe Bradish regressing a little bit here, but as we potentially might have Jeff Dawson popping in as we speak. Don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but if he pops in, I'll take my time. This is only number one of MLB, so we can get plenty of his thoughts on the entire slate. My friend, thank you for popping in once again today.
It's my pleasure. I mean, we're really picking up in the back end here. A lot of stuff brewing that you know a lot about, which we will not unveil till it's time. But I thank you for carrying the torch, especially at the closing bell. Yesterday was funny. We were like hotter than molten lava, and next thing you know, my computer goes blue,
Yep.
and it was thanks for playing.
That's all right. And in the short time that we were here, we came together and you endorsed some of the ones I was already giving out, and we gave some winners. We whiffed on the. I don't know what happened with the Blue Jays yesterday. That was the one that we were the most incorrect about, at least on the show. But I told you. You said something about the Sox and Astros. I had both White Sox and Red Sox having some nice days offensively. So we did give out some baseball winners there, my friend. But I am barely just getting started here. I'm actually talking about the first game. Not obviously a handful of games already started, so you can chime right in and pick up right here where I am with baseball. Talked mostly about Angels and Orioles, but haven't gotten into my thoughts and leans on this one. Are you thinking this one? Are you expecting the the opening number a little more than what the current number is, and putting it at a toss-up, or you got any other thoughts? I'm kind of throwing my hands up on this one. Is kind of where I'm saying.
It's almost like that zigzag effect. Angels win one, Baltimore wins one. I had an overnight number of 140 with a 9.5, down to 8.5 with a 156. Again, if you're buying the Orioles tonight, it's way too steep of a number. Obviously, How would you get in? Well, I'm looking at the team totals. Both team totals on Wager Talk juiced to their overs, 4.5 over. Minus 120 right now on the Orioles, and 3.5 over, minus 130 to the Angels. I think you know what? This is a perfect 4-3 game. This could be a 5-4 game. This is a popcorn game for me.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. I was kind of alluding to not really having much of a strong thought on this one. Maybe one of these guys, maybe Griffin Canning bounces back. Maybe Bradish regresses a little bit, but I'm not going to put my stamp on anything that significantly there. So, moving on to Nats and Marlins. Decent. This could be in 5 years. This could be the pitching matchup of the day. Whatever these guys are on, maybe. Obviously, I'm talking about Edward Cabrera. 25-year-old in year 3 for the Marlins, kind of slowly progressing a little bit of a regression so far this year. Hasn't been fantastic. Certainly hasn't been good. Hasn't been horrendous. I think 4 earned runs is his most allowed, but he's barely getting through 4 or 5 innings half the time here. He's going up against Mackenzie Gore, who is actually looking pretty good right now. Last time out, didn't get through a ton of innings. 4 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks. But he's kept the runs off the board for the most part here, Gore himself there. But you've got the Marlins as the favorite. I've found some spots kind of sporadically with this Marlins team. I like some of their pitchers. Didn't have enough confidence in them yesterday, but to get the win yesterday 5-4. So they're kind of middling right now. Their offense obviously not fantastic by any means, but where were you thinking with this one? Any confidence in either of these two pitchers? Do you like either of these guys? You disgusted with either of these two guys? Where I don't think you and I have talked too much about these guys.
Cabrera, he started the year real bad with his command. If you look at his splits between walks to strikeouts, that's what's getting him into problems. I think his last start, we went against him, and he had 3 shutout innings. Then he finally was the Cabrera we were waiting for. I think he had 2 or 3 walks, and he gave up a boatload. From the eye test, to my eyes, it's a Nats number. Upgraded, expected to play. Corey Seager expected to play tonight. So anyone on the Rangers tonight, Corey's expected to be in. I had a 125 with a 7.5. Currently 118 with a 7.5 juiced over. slight lean to the dog here in the Nats. I think, Gore has shown flashes as well, and he's supposed to be their future. I like the Nats in this spot. Small dog, little pizza and beer money. Lean to the Nats tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. Cabrera, you're right. I mean, he's got a couple of starts. One start with 12 strikeouts, with 5 walks to go along with it. He might be leading the league. This could be a wild guess. He might be leading the league. 30 walks, 49 Ks. Obviously, you don't like to be combining those two together, but he might be leading the league in walks plus strikeouts combined there. So. Not exactly, especially when it's close to even on both sides. Not exactly the stat you want, but at the end of the day, he's obviously got some nasty stuff when it's in the right spot there. So, let's see. Yankees and Blue Jays. Let's see if we can get some redemption on this game today. Garrett Cole and Chris Bassett on the mound. Yankees right around a little bit up, I believe, from the opening up to minus 115, 118 I see right now. Is that right? Up against Bassett here. Are you thinking this is a finally some Garrett Cole regression time? We've been kind of waiting for it. He's regressed a little bit. He obviously had the one bad one against Tampa a couple starts ago. Surrounding that one, he's still managing 2 earned runs or less. So are you thinking another Cole regression, or is this some good value on Garrett Cole here?
It's kind of funny. It's like a two-headed monster here, because whenever you have an opportunity to grab the Jays at home as a dog, you're supposed to jump on it. Now, I know when we started the year, Scotty Webb was talking about Bassett being hurt. He got blown up in Toronto, his first start or a second start. He has come back. He's been pitching great. So, an opportunity to get the Jays at home as a dog is an eye-opener. And then the same thing is, when can you get Garrett Cole at minus 112? I mean, It's just like, so anyone wants to play the Yankees tonight? I see it. I do. I mean, that's a great price and value for the Yankees. And on the same side, if you want to grab the Jays as a slight dog at home, boom, more happy to you, more power to you. So again, I'm not trying to play both sides of the fence. What I do see here at Wager Talk is a team total of the Yankees 3.5 over minus 145, and then I see it 4.5 under minus 145 in another spot. So when I see 1, 3, 1, 3.5, 1, 4.5, I stay away there. Toronto's team total 3.5 now over minus 120. It's a popcorn game for me.
Yeah, no, totally. And to mention, you mentioned the team totals, but when you got a guy like Garrett Cole, especially, usually guys like that, and then in accordance with, obviously Bassett isn't that type of name, but his last 2 starts were 0 earned runs, and I think the game total opened 8.5 and went down to 8, as opposed to opening right, at that 7.5 number that we see when you got aces on the mound. I mean, that kind of tells me something, either Jedi mind tricks like we talk about, or one of these guys is not going to be as sharp as they've been the last couple. That's kind of where I'm at with this one.
100% spot on, Riley.
All righty. Going over to Boston, my friends. Seattle and Boston. Red Sox lose game 1, 10-1. Bounce back yesterday, 9-4. We've got Marco Gonzalez and Bello for the Red Sox here tonight. Brian Bello. Is it Bello or Bello? Do you know?
Good question. I think it's more to the Bayo side.
Okay. Either way, he is starting to pitch a little better, as you know, or at least limiting the runs. First one out this season was not good. Last 2 against Toronto and the Braves, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. I guess the Blue Jays, there was a couple unearned runs in there, but a couple solo shots in each of those games, or a solo shot in each of those games, and 5 Ks. Where are you at with this guy, with Bello? We obviously, it was kind of anticipated last year a little bit, made some national waves a little bit, and obviously didn't quite live up to it last season. And Gonzalez is certainly a guy that I like to fade whenever he's due for some regression, which isn't not glaring by any means, but he's been solid the last 2. Where are you at with Bello at least, and any feelings tonight on Marco Gonzalez?
Sox dogs yesterday against Castillo and lit them up pretty good. We gave out the team total. I was talking about, you like the Sox there. Overnight minus 120 with a 10. Now it's circa 9.5 juice under with a 124 now on the Sox. You can grab the Mariners plus 114. I am not a Gonzalez fan, but I will just say this. I don't think the Sox should be favored against this team at all. I look at the team totals. They're pushing the Sox team total over 4.5 minus 125. Yet Seattle team total 4.5 juiced under minus 118. I go with the original number. I think first one to 5 or 6 is going to win this game. I think the actual value is Seattle to get to 5 today. I think you can get that at around plus 102. Try to grab a little plus money there. I lean Mariners today, but I am, as you said, I am not leaning it on the starting pitch, and I'd be leaning it more to the back end side of it.
Right. No, I think I'm with you there. It's not one. Certainly don't have the same confidence that I did you and I with this matchup yesterday. There. Moving on. The other one that you helped me out with correctly yesterday before you popped out was Tampa and the Mets. Tampa takes down the Mets and Verlander. Today you've got Senga on the mound for the Mets. Fleming for the Rays here today. Fleming. Has not been terrible. He's kind of been hit or miss, I guess. Last 2 have been against the Yankees. The first one, 6 earned run allowed. Last time, bounced back, 3 hits, 1 earned run on a solo shot. Not a guy that's getting a lot of strikeouts on the board here, so the ball's going to be in play quite a bit there. Senga coming off of his worst start of the season. 5 earned run on 8 hits against the Reds. Before that, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 walks. 4 Ks. Really, actually, last time, despite it being the most runs he's allowed, is the first time that he gave up less than 3 walks. His first 6 starts, I think it was 3 or 4 walks, and so he finally keeps the walks off the board and then gets hit for 8 hits, season-high 8 hits and 5 earned runs there. So where are we at here with this? Are you buying the Mets as a favorite today against this Rays team? 32-11 Tampa Bay Rays.
32-11. What's the Mets?
20-23, not a winning baseball team right now.
Oh, really? And what was Verlander yesterday? Like minus 150, 160, something like that?
I think so, right? Yep.
Yeah. And again, what did we say? I was like, you can't bet on the Mets. You can't bet on Verlander in this spot. The value was with the Rays. Well, I look at tonight's game, and Senga got smoked last start.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that I woke up this morning and the Mets were still favored. The Rays are supposed to be favored here. I don't want to say Vegas knows something. Maybe they're expecting a little regression from Fleming. The Rays got the big win last night. The Mets with their ace, their $40 million, 40-year-old pitcher gets shellacked, and Frank Fleming's about to have a heart attack on social media. The ECSI VIPs know exactly where I lean here. And when I really want to break this down it was when you're looking at Senga first minus 130 or 135, and that them minus a half run is at even money, and the over on the first 5 is 4.5. I expect the Mets to have a lead after 5, 3-2, 4-2, something of that. I really like the Mets in this spot, and I really like the Mets in the first 5 in this spot.
Yep, no, I'm with you. And honestly, these last 3 days or so, offense starting to come to life a little bit, starting to get some hits on the board. Obviously, I think it's 8-3, and then they've lost 2 of the 3 games, but 8 runs, 3 runs, and 5 runs, and the hits are starting to go not go through the roof, but hits are starting to increase, starting to get some more runners on board, and obviously, like I said, guy in Fleming that doesn't get a lot of strikeouts here. The ball could be in play a lot tonight here, at least through the first 4 or 5 innings there.
What do we have for a Pete Alonso homer tonight?
Let's see. Pete Alonso homer. Might take me a half a second to get there, but let's see. I am seeing plus 360, the favorite out of that game to hit a home run.
We'll go Pete Alonso, little pizza and beer homer at plus 360 for the cherry on top.
I like it. I like it a lot. I can definitely see that one there. So, could be a fun one there for the Mets fans needing a turnaround there, obviously, in Mets land there. Actually, the other one that you and I talked about a little bit, Brewers and Cardinals. Brewers get the win yesterday after the 18-1 Cardinals shellacking there. Now you've got Burns on the mound for the Brewers. And Lipitor, I forgot how to pronounce his name, if I'm being honest. But he, I believe, is making his season debut after 9 outings last year, 5.97 ERA, 7 starts. So did not come onto the scene too strongly last year. Had a few good outings, though. Had a few outings with 4 or 5 innings and 0 earned runs allowed there. So obviously a guy that the Cardinals would love to have help out this rotation here, or pitching staff, bullpen, whatever it is. And then obviously Burns on the other side, everyone knows. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs last time out, 4 walks, 7 Ks. So we are looking at I'm drawing a blank on where this opened. It opened about Milwaukee, about minus 120, right? And now it's kind of flipped here. I see certain apps or certain books have it minus 110 both ways. I see some other ones minus 120 Cardinals, plus 100 Brewers. Is this a kind of a scary line reading here for Corbin Burns fans here, or are you thinking differently than I am?
Well, first and foremost, the ECSI VIPs, I'm biting my tongue right now. We were going for a sweep last night. We had the Rockies team total over 6.5. They have 9 runs today, and they scored 5 in the 5th, and they got 4 more, it looks like, in the 6th.
Well,
so thank you.
I didn't have strong thoughts about yesterday, but I've been talking about the Rockies at home, and I didn't realize they had a day game today. I honestly thought it was later today, so I'm kind of mad that I didn't get something in on time for that game. So, yeah.
As the Cards, I'm going to buy the flip here. I'm going to buy Burns with a little regression. The Cardinals looking to win another series. They swept the Red Sox. Now they're looking to take 2 out of 3 in the division. So I will buy the flip, and I lean Cards tonight.
I will not only do that, but I will add on. Let me find some odds here. I will add a plus 360 Paul Goldschmidt home run to the list here for my home run prop of the evening. Plus 360, the favorite out of this game. He is 10 for 29 lifetime against Burns here. Only 1 homer, but as compared to Arenado, 4 and 21 lifetime against Burns, I will go with a Goldie homer here tonight. Plus 360 there. I assume you could probably get better odds than that than plus 360. That was just the quick one that I looked up. Either way, though, a couple of games left. Braves and the Rangers. Your guy that you love, Mr. Spencer Strider, and rightfully so. Pretty good last time out. 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, another unearned run, no homers, 1 walk, 12 Ks. He's got double-digit strikeouts last 2 times out. No less than 8 Ks in any games this season. Up against the Eovaldi and the Rangers, someone you know, who's been pretty damn good these last few. Last time out, 8 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 12 Ks. Are we at a spot where we're looking for some Eovaldi regression, or with Strider on the mound, would you like this one to be higher to respect Strider and the Braves here?
Well, it's not Nate Eovaldi, it's Oral Hershiser. He's got 28 2/3 scoreless innings right now. And this is one guy that is an absolute bull and a workhorse, and he was a big part of the Red Sox last World Series as he came from a starter to the bullpen, really helping us out there. Excuse me. But I'm going to I read the market, okay? So if this guy is pitched 28 2/3 scoreless, and yet the Atlanta Braves team total is not 3, is not 3.5, is not 4, is 4.5 juiced under, which everyone's going to run to the window and say, well, Jesus, this guy is unhittable of late. And if they're going to score, it's only going to be, 1, 2, or 3 runs. So keep an eye on that team total from the Braves over. You can get over 4.5 plus 115 at some shops right now. That's number one. Yes, Cy Strider. He is an absolute beast. If you have not seen this guy pitch, worth the price of admission. If you can, probably too late to get a decent number on him to win the National League Cy Young at this point. But, my love affair for Pedro Martinez. I'm not calling this kid Pedro, but his ball just jumps and fun to watch. And especially you get an opportunity to, I can't get into the Braves right now, minus 140. I looked at the first 5 minus the hook. It was still too steep. Here's another funny thing about the Braves team total. The under over in this game is only 7.5, and it's juiced under. So I'm
Right.
going to go on record. I think this is a Braves 5-0, 5-1, maybe 5-2. I think the Braves coming off a loss, they come in, they win the series, they get their horse on the mound. Nothing against Nate. Well, if he spends another gem, God bless him. But I think this is Braves all day tonight.
Yeah. Do you remember what the opening season? I'm trying to see if I can find it for Strider, because I just saw the only guy on the one app I was looking at that was ahead of him was Zach Gallen. He was 260 where I was just looking. So obviously not quite that low at the opening. Do you remember whereabouts he was?
He was coming off an injury. This is a pure guess. I would have guessed he behind a Scherzer, maybe a Verlander. He probably would have been like third, fourth, if anyone's listening can remember, because I want to say 9-1, but that's probably too steep as well. That would have been my guess, somewhere in that area. And if someone calls me out on it, please do. Like I said, it's a guess, maybe 7-1, but he definitely would have been, if I only had one punch, he would have been my guy on the preseason.
Yep. No, I was trying to find it. I might still be able to in a second, but no, 9-1 sounds about right. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but either way, Zach Allen, the only guy with better or favorite odds ahead of him right now. So I believe there's only one game left, and then I started off with the NBA game, but obviously want to get your thoughts real quick before we get out of here. Last one up, Astros hosting the Cubs here again. JP France for the Astros, year one in the big leagues. 28-year-old rookie here in the big leagues. 2 good starts so far. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs. 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run against my White Sox last week. And now we've got Drew Smyly on the mound for the Cubs. Another guy that you might say is due for some regression here at some point. He's been really, really solid. 3.05 ERA, 4-1 record. He's got his opening start was 6 earned runs allowed, and ever since then, his 2 earned runs or less. Last time out, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 K against the Twins. Any thoughts on this one? Are we getting a double regression here from these guys, or are we seeing one of these guys regressing and one of them staying hot? What are your thoughts with these two guys here?
Well, last night, again, we were spot on. Were you getting Mr. Steel or aluminum can? And again, with that Astros team total of 4.5 juiced under was a good lead. I said one's getting it and one's not. I said 5-1, 5-2, something. And I think that's about where it landed. I think, honestly, it's a Cubs number. The overnight number was 150 with an 8.5. Circa right now, 154 with an 8.5 juiced over. I think this will be a low-scoring game. Both team totals are juiced to the over. Cubs 3.5 minus 125. Houston 4.5 over 120. I'm going to just play the contrarian here. Cubs steal one, and neither team gets there, or the Cubs might sneak over. But what is it, 8.5? I'm going to go like a 4-3, maybe Cubs, something like that, to steal one here. After Steele was the quote-unquote play of the day yesterday, and I think that maybe Smyly will try to hold the fort down. And the Morel kid's been on fire. Bellinger out, God knows when. So keep an eye on the Cubs are pesky. You know, they've
had some fight in this series too.
Yeah. So we're going to keep Smyly smiling for the Cubs. How's that?
All right, I can't disagree with you, but I mean, at some point, he should have some regression at some point. But I agree with you, maybe not quite yet here. So, circling back, well, let's see, we've got still a handful of games. Rockies up to 11 runs now, not to drive home the nail, but the Rockies up to 11 runs. The home team rocks there for both of us there. But.
And you know something, so many times you're going to see in wagering that you play a game, a side, a total, and it doesn't come in, and you would just like one night off. Now, it is so hard to go back to the window. And again, we did not do anything during the afternoon today. And again, I looked at it. I was seething. I was like, you rat, blah, 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 blah. And it was an 11.5. juiced under, short favorites, and they did nothing early. And then again, fifth, sixth inning, they've exploded. So yeah, a lot of people go back to the window. And if I did that with the Guardians this year, we'd be broke here at ECSI. So That's why they're on the desk, and the Rockies for now are back on the desk. So.
Oh, shoot. And I did it again, Mr. Dawson, and I'm glad you said them. The only game that we have not done is the Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago White Sox. They are at the top of my list, as always, not in chronological order. So before we switch back over to the basketball to get your thoughts, Cleveland and the White Sox. I had the White Sox last night. Lance Lynn, finally a nice start. Bieber, a little bit of a regression there. Now you've got Clevenger on the mound for the White Sox, and Battenfield here for Cleveland. Clevenger, earned runs wise, kind of a nice start to the season, but if you were paying attention, it was a little all over the place. But he's kind of been laboring through these starts. His last 2 6 innings each, 3 and 4 earned runs allowed. And Battenfield, handful of starts under his belt. He's also kind of been a little all over the place, kind of similar in some ways, actually. If you're looking at it, at least on paper here, he's 0-4, 4.45 ERA, 25-year-old rookie there. Any confidence for Clevenger and my White Sox, or is this one going to be a little bit of a shootout here?
I think this is one of those games where my overnight number was -110, 9 under, and your White Sox are getting a lot of steam. I don't like when I see this. I can say this live on the air because they've been, again, back on our DNP, do not touch, I'm giving them till June 1st. But following all this steam, what I would suggest is I would lean Guardians today. Battenfield maybe with a little bounce back. I'm looking at both team totals juiced under. You can get Cleveland's team total over 4.5 plus 120. I'd lean that way. Your White Sox team total is 4.5 juiced under -125. So if you like the White Sox today, here's what I would suggest. Don't lay the 135 or 140 on them to win the game. I would look at their team total over 4.5 at plus 105. But I lean Guardians here plus the 127, and the Guardians to get to 5 today or better plus 120.
Yeah, I like it. And I mean, White Sox have Dylan Cease on the mound yesterday, hoping to continue rounding back into form for an afternoon game. There's a big series for the White Sox, but this would be the one where I'm feeling better about yesterday, like I was, and before seeing, before looking ahead too much, I've been hoping for waiting on the Dylan Cease, bounce backs and consistent bounce backs. So we'll see when we get there tomorrow. But this would be, as far as a White Sox guy, this would be the one that I'm staying away from for sure. So, all right, switching over now to the NBA. Before you came out and I was talking about it, kind of for me, I in a lot of 7-game series, I typically kind of wait on game 1 a little bit, see what happens, and then typically I'm attacking game 2, 3, 4, something along those. And I guess my thought on this one was either the Celtics are going to be, when they win, like they have all season long and throughout the postseason, going to win by 15 plus. And if that's not the case, then this could be a very close game, and the Heat might even steal this one in game 1. Is that where you're thinking, or do you have a stronger stance on what might actually happen tonight?
The actual game tonight, I don't have a good feel because I think you're spot on. The Celtics win, they cover. And if they're going to lose, they lose outright. I had a true number of 8 with the 210, currently at circa 8.5 with the 213. So they're pounding the over, and that to me is a Celtic number. So if I do some quick math, and you can look, let me see, 110, 102. So what'd they give you for the Celtics team total? 110 and a hook, and Miami 102 and a hook, something like that.
It's kind of different across the board. You can definitely shop around. I see some 110.5s at -120. I see 109.5 at -120 for Boston. And I see some 101.5s, 102.5s, even a 100.5. I would say consensus is 110 and 102 though, and a hook on each side.
Yeah, I'm going to just kind of sort of tip my hand here a little to the people watching and listening. that are not ECSI VIPs. And for everyone here that is listening and saying, well, why pay for the service when I can just watch the closing bell? Well, you get so much more. You get to talk to me. You get to DM me. You get to ask questions, which so many of the people that watch and listen here do on a regular basis. So go back to the Denver and LA. I just got a slight lean. I think the Lakers are going to find a way, whether it's in 6 or 7. Okay. I didn't have a feel for the first game. The only feel that I had is it was a perfect spot for Denver. I didn't expect the track meet. I didn't expect Jokic and the boys to be up 14-15. And then with 2 minutes to go, it was a 3-point game, you know?
Right.
So the point is, I thought Denver could win, and they did win. And a lot of people have, like on DraftKings, where you could bet Denver to win game 1 and win the series at plus money. And that was a good play yesterday. For people that like the Lakers, what I suggested is don't buy the series before the first game. Let the first game fall. Why take the plus 130 or 140? Because I think the Lakers are going to lose. Now you can go back and get the Lakers plus 220 to win the series. Now, thinking this out, early January, Mr. Lucky and a bunch of the people watching the show grabbed Denver at 12-1 to win it all. So you got that in tow right now. Now I'm looking, and how do you get into the Celtics? Well, you can't get them. You're not buying minus 600 or minus 525. You can go right now to DraftKings and get them to win the NBA championship at plus $100. So put that, if you're looking to get into the Celtics Heat series, just go get them to win the NBA championship at plus 100, and then watch and listen or sign up for the VIPs and figure out if they beat the Heat, which we all expect they're going to, because minus a game and a half is real short. That's the favorite. It's a 5-game series or 6 games, and those are the 2 favorite landings, not 7 games. So go over to the Lakers. You can get them plus 220 to beat Denver, right now to win the series. Or you can go over to DraftKings and get the Lakers plus 550 to win the NBA championship. So if everyone understands what I'm selling here right now is you got the Celtics plus 100 to win the championship, and you got the Lakers plus 550. So if they meet in the championship, oh boy, you got some action where you're rooting for the Lakers, but we'll find ways to get more into the Celtics.
Right.
Anyone holding Denver at 12-1, we got plenty of time to work with that one. So those are the peeling the layers back on the onion that we try to do here. I think the Celtics, listen, tomorrow we're back. And you said to me, what a game by Jimmy Buckets. Oh, my God. Bam was amazing. Spoelstra outcoached Missoula. Heat win by 8. I wouldn't be shocked. Or if we said, wow, Tatum and Brown scored 60 combined and the Celtics won by 25, I wouldn't be shocked either. So I have no damn idea what's going to happen tonight.
Right. But if the Celtics do what you just said and win by 25, you're not going to be able to get them to even win the championship at anything close to reasonable if they go and do that. So I like what you're saying there. And another lesson on Line Shop, and I'm looking at it right here, the same book that I'm looking at, not a good price on the Celtics, not plus money, but you can get the Lakers at $650. So another lesson on line shopping and having multiple places to do some business at, because you might find one of the selections that you're kind of talking about at a better price than you had the other one, but the other one might not be where you want it to be, and so obviously you got to team them up there a little bit. So, go ahead.
And tomorrow, what's the 18th? Yeah, so tomorrow night, Denver opened at 6 at 225.5. Now 227 at 5.5. So thinking this out loud, there is a possibility Denver wins game 2 as well. And now you go to the Lakers, and the Lakers got a hold serve as well. So if you were going to go in and get the Lakers plus 220 to win the series, well, maybe do a half unit. And then if the Lakers lose game 2, you're going to now be able to go in and get them at plus 350 or 375. Put another half unit, and then what happens is if they win game 3 and game 4 and get it back to even, it's a 3-game series. Now you can loop back around and get Denver minus 140 again, and you'll be fine. Trust me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. I know. I love it. And as far as X's and O's, Lakers just got to find a better way to utilize Anthony Davis defensively in the paint. I mean, the Nuggets, and it was kind of on display against Golden State, where when Golden State was scoring, it was keeping them out of the paint, and when the Lakers were dominating, it was because Anthony Davis was a menace in the paint. Denver did a good job of either keeping him out or when he was in there, finding ways to find shots around him and around the perimeter and whatnot. So Lakers defensively. I don't know what to expect. I like you said, I could absolutely see Denver winning game 2 in that one, and then and Lakers having to win a couple at home there. Would not shock me at all. So that is it for MLB and NBA tonight, and preview into tomorrow. Only other thing, my friend, and I know you got Brady Cannon, so I don't want to spend too much time and soak up too many thoughts. And I don't have, honestly, of all the majors, this might be the one that I'm coming in a little slim on, with not as much to work with here. But I will have some thoughts put out on Twitter tonight. But any quick thoughts on PGA Championship? Again, don't want to evaporate too much for your conversation with Brady Cannon. Loving any of these favorites at the top. I'm kind of curious to see what your thoughts are on these live guys. Not because of the Masters is one part, but also because a handful of the top names have been lights out in these actual live tournaments these last few weeks. Not that we don't talk about them too many times, you and I, but when you're breaking this down, you look back the last few weeks, and the big names in the live golf league have been fantastic. Where are you at with those guys coming into this weekend?
It's funny. I got to bring my head back to the Masters. I had no part of Brooks. And he had basically a 5-shot lead after 2 rounds because the amateur was at 4 back and Rahm was at 5 back. And we came on and we talked about it's a perfect time to grab Rahm. People are like, geez, I can get Brooks right now with a 4-5 shot lead at plus 150. I'm like, dude, he's not winning. Don't you get it? What part don't you? No, right. That's not, he's won it before, blah, blah, blah. I was on DJ, the one guy on the live tour, nowhere to be found, of course. Looking at the favorites pre-flop was on Rory, nowhere to be found. Now Rory takes the $3 million fine. He's not saying much. This course sets up real well for Rory. But again, it's one of these, you're either a Rory guy or you're not. And when you don't have him, he's lapping the field and you're not catching Rory. You forget about it. Just shut it off and move on. Now you get the 2 big favorites, Scheffler and Rahm. And the more I read, the more I listen. God, it looks like this course is set up for Scheffler. It just, you got to be a bomber. You got to hit it straight. 4 feet to the right, 4 feet to the left, and the rough. And you're looking at bogey at best. I haven't got there. I told the ECSI VIPs there will be an alert out tonight. I will break down our thoughts on it. Looking at value, JT, I was one of those guys at 30-1. Then I go on to DraftKings today and he's 35-1, which now I'm like, yeah, something's up there. Always been a Morikawa, a Hovland guy. You know who the sharps are really on this week? Xander. They think it's time.
What? And that's what I was thinking. I would have almost respected it, not even disagreeing because he's been so good. And I totally, I absolutely was kind of thinking that I would have respected it more if he was kind of close to where Rory is with the, 15-1 or anything shorter than that. Honestly, I not to say that I'm disagreeing with that at all because he's been so good and it just feels like he's lurking and ready to pounce on one of these. What about the one guy that I would have been okay with and I might have liked and I had some action on, but he's traveling back from South Korea because he was just in a South Korean tournament and won the thing this past weekend. But I don't know if that's going to have some jet lag or whatnot. Sung Jae Im has had obviously some good action there, but I don't know. I was a little gun shy from him coming from South Korea. Literally, 2 days ago.
Im is one of these guys that hits our model every damn time. And it's one of these guys that you always get a decent price. So, for instance, if you're breaking it down the way we do, and I'm going to do basic math here.
Yeah.
Let's say you set aside 3 units and you're $100 player. So you set aside $300. You take one of the favorites. Let's just say Scheffler was 10-1. All right. You put 100 on Scheffler, that wins you 1,000. Okay. So now you're going to break the board down with $200 or 2 units left. So now you take the 25 to ones and then you put $40. Let's say Morikawa and Hovland are 40 to 25. So now my point is you get a Sungjae in at 35 or 40 to 1. It only costs you $25 to get to that 1,000. So I got my eyes on him every time. I like where your eyes are because, again, great iron player.
Yeah.
Can he keep the ball in the fairway is the question, and how good will they be around the greens? Good eyes, though. Good eyes. And I took that snapshot for all the baseball guys. Scotty and I did a show last night. We were talking about the Rays and Taj Bradley. And Taj will be starting tomorrow against McGill. So all you Taj fans, Taj will be back tomorrow.
There you go. And then, just to close it out, the other guy that especially in tournaments that are tough courses, I had one of my winners last year, the U.S. Open, Fitzpatrick, would have respected it. He's up around 34 to 1, would have respected much shorter odds there. It seemed a little too good to be true for me for a Fitzpatrick guy like I am there. And then what about a one live guy that's been he's been solid in these tournaments. I don't think he's won any. But obviously was the talk of the town July, August last year. Cam Smith. Any love for Cam Smith this weekend?
We had Cam Smith last year at the Masters, and Scotty said not so fast. Huge Cam Smith fan. Leading up to the Masters, that was my live guy. And then, like Justin Thomas, his line went from 20 to 1 to 30 to 1. I was like, all right, you guys know something I don't. And I backed off. So I will be looking hard at Cam Smith. He's got all the talent in the world. If he can just close it out, not listening to the people in the gallery and play some golf, definitely. What do you have for odds on Cam?
Right in front of me on this one, Cam Smith, 34 to 1.
Definitely worth the price of admission, no doubt.
Yep, and then let's see, 35 to 1 on another one there. So yeah. No, I could absolutely see it. And then Max Homa, a guy that just hasn't been great in majors, who obviously has been great the last 365 days or so. And then some other fan favorites, obviously there. So I'll exit stage on the PGA. I'll give my own thoughts out on Twitter tonight, and obviously you've got a good show coming up here in less than or about a half an hour, I believe, right?
Yeah, the Max Homer, I'm saving the major win for the U.S. Open. That's his home track, and he set the college when he was playing college. I think he set the course record there. So we have one of those in tow at like 30, 35 to 1 from about 2 months ago. So we're holding off on that one. And, for you, like I said, keep up the great work. You've been writing some great blogs on the golf. It's a major, and I've been trying to get the last 2 years, we have 12 pre-flop winners here at ECSI. And the problem that has happened this year is I've only released the Masters, and we only hit after 2 days of work on John Rahm there. For us, it's about 40 hours of work going through the 3 spreadsheets and then looking at the opening odds. So you add the 40 hours of work to the 65, 70 that we're doing between content shows and all the rest of the stuff, having real hard time to find the time to dig deep and get in there.
Oh, especially with, and you are talking my lane, especially with NBA and not so much in my case, but NHL playoffs, and now MLB. And that's for me. I respect my opinion with, and I trust my own opinion with golf, but it, like you said, I can't pop into a conversation like I can football, basketball, or baseball, and I've got to do quite a bit of research to be able to stand on my 2 legs there. And so, like you said, it takes so much work, and then. Whether it's writing blogs or giving picks out, it's a lot more work than you realize, especially for these golf tournaments, 4 days long there.
Without a doubt, and with today's market, with your cell phone, that is a walking casino. I like to call it the Bellagio is in your hand. You can not do any pre-flop. You can wait for the first day. You can wait till after Friday and the cut. I was looking, we haven't done any Sunday shows, but I love the Sunday shows where we would look, further and further down the board. I looked at the board last Sunday and I forget, there was a couple no names that were in the lead. Scheffler was right there at plus 350. And then Jason Day was 2 shots off the lead at plus 550. And I just said to myself, Jason's winning. I said, I can look at the board. I can tell who's in front of him. And with a Scotty Scheffler that had a 2-shot lead on Day, and then to have Day only plus 550 right away was a telltale sign. And I had him in one of the one and dones. So I'm doing real well in the Rick Gaiman one and dones, and in the Mayo one and done. I'm done. I'm like 3,000 out of 4,000. So I'm done.
Well, last year's PGA was a perfect example of that, right? JT came from way behind, right, to win last year's PGA, right? Yeah.
We had that one. Yes, we had JT, and I was starting to lean that way. And like I said, I saw the big move, and they're begging for JT money. I mean, hey, listen, $10 to make 350, it's worth the price of admission, but I wouldn't be holding my breath on him.
No, he's just not quite in form. So, no, or at least not 100% rounded form. Some areas good, some areas not quite as much. And this course definitely could. If you got one area that's lacking, it could eat you up. So, I will exit stage and give you guys the floor here in the next half an hour to talk plenty about it. So, nonetheless, unless you've got anything else, that is all I've got for today's show, my friend.
Yes, thank you for the start again. Thank everyone watching and listening. Shout out to Connor. As always, and everyone else that is watching and listening. Tomorrow tomorrow's Thursday. You will not be here.
That's right.
And then Friday, if we do something, it'll be early in the afternoon. Otherwise, you can take it solo. I'll be heading up to the Canton compound with Pepe and Sports Map Radio co-hosting Friday night from 8 to 10. So busy weekend coming. So from Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one, and myself, Jeff Dawson at DC Sports Invest. Everyone, come back in a half hour. Brady Cannon, fresh off his 19-1 Jason Day, will be breaking down the PGA Championship, be giving you some outright winners, some head-to-heads, and some first-round leaders. So everyone, go grab a quick bite to eat, and we'll see you soon in about 30 minutes or so.